Welcome back, Bucktooth Fuckos. OldManTup coming at you today, and we're doing our Week 12 team builder against Dan, aka A Drive, and the St. Louis Rampardos, who may be relocating to Los Angeles after this year if they follow their football team. But yeah, just kidding. Football talk, I apologize, non-American friends. Okay. Let's take a look at our team that we have prepped to go against Dan. Now, we have Hot Dog here. I can't remember if it actually got named Hot Dog or Crimson Seabad, or Crimson Sea Dog. One of those two. See, I have it switched. It's different here and here. Whatever. Contemplating taking off leftovers on this and putting on the Rocky helmet, mainly to get damage, chip damage on Victini for switching in on U-turns, taking V-creates like a boss and doing some damage while he's doling those out. If that happens, he's not going to stay in, so I'm free to Will-O-Wisp anything that wants to come in, depending on whether or not we think he has Guts Heracross. This thing pretty much stands up to Guts Heracross, or Scarf Heracross, or Moxie Heracross, or whatever he wants to bring. This thing is our immediate answer, and unless he just Stone Edges our face and crits us, and we have worse luck than last week, we should be able to stand toe-to-toe against that thing. This thing also comes in, cripples Megatron with the Will-O-Wisp. I contemplated running dual status this week, mainly to catch Blastoise coming in, but in our first match, he had Blastoise and he packed Aqua Jet. So I think the Will-O-Wisp may be the best overall option, especially if we're going to be playing late game scenarios, as opposed to Toxic. Plus Toxic would get him into Torrent range a little bit faster. Granted, it would get him out of it a little bit faster, but Flare Blitz just to smack anything that comes in. Extreme Speed as a failsafe, because last time we had problems with Jolteon, and a lot of his things outsped a lot of things on his team. And unfortunately, between his team and my team, he has a lot more things right around the 100 speed tier than I do. And a lot of my things just miss that. And we'll see that as we go forward. But completely physically offensive, Intimidate, leftovers. Like I said, that might not be leftovers by the time the battle comes around, but we don't know. Okay. We're going into our Taylor Swift this week, and we are bringing Choice Band Excadrill. Sandrush, obviously, and this thing just lays waste to his team. If we can get Salamence, which I believe is his only flyer, I don't think he's going to bring Yuxi. He didn't bring it last time, or Uxie, or however you say it. I don't think he's going to bring it this time. If he does, good for him. But not really planning for it as much as I am some of the other threats on his team. I think that's the only thing on his team that gets Levitate, aside from his flying type, which is Earhart, or whatever he calls it, which is Salamence, who we had last season. I would like to say he's having much more success with it than we are. But Choice Band Sandrush, and we have enough speed, I believe, to outspeed Max Speed Scarf Jolteon, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. I either made it so we outsped Max Speed Jolteon, or we made it so we outsped Max Speed Scarf Victini. It's one or the other. We'll definitely look back into that before the match. I actually made about 20 of these sets before I decided which one I wanted. But Choice Band, 2 shots almost every single one of his Pokemon. So he has no safe switch-ins to it once we get rid of the fact that Salamence may come in. A lot of pokes on his team are also really weak to Rock Slide. So once we can get rid of something like Aggron, pretty much the rest of his team just gets rocked by a choice-banded Rock Slide. So looking forward to that. Ironhead, because in the event he brings Sylveon, I don't think he's going to, because it really doesn't match up as good against my team as against a lot of the other things. Aerial Ace just in case, because it does do more damage against Heracross than any of these other moves. And Heracross is really bad news bears for our team. So that's why we have that. We're bringing Taylor Swift because she is swift, because she's fast, because she's not Sandrush, and she's pretty and sparkly and shiny. And she got the Choice Band on because she is choice meat. Definitely not an innuendo there. Alright, bringing Mr. T this week because he pities the fool who thinks that they can one-shot him. Pities them. He pitied the fool. And Mr. T, bringing bulky Mr. T this week, giving up the name Spinal Tap for the last week because I actually went by the name Mr. T in the Pojo forums for a very short time. And quite a few people lost a lot of respect for me. I can't figure out why. But yeah. Mr. T coming in. And we are especially defensive. This is mostly to deal with Jolteon. Because Jolteon was what won him the game last time we played. So that is the reason we're bringing especially defensive Tyranitar. Plus, I have yet to bring a defensive Tyranitar. And I think it might throw him off his game just a smidgen. So that's what we're going to do. So we have Mr. T. And Mr. T is going to be bringing those Stealth Rocks in the event we need them. A lot of his team does get hurt by them, so hopefully we can get them up early. Got the Ice Beam because Salamence is a thing. And that just decimates Salamance's face. Thunderbolt because Blastoise is a thing. And Fire Blast because Heracross. In between, this thing really doesn't stand up as well against Victini. It can take any hit outside of Brick Break. And I think unless it's Specs or Life Orb or Expert Belt, we can live one Focus Blast. Jolteon doesn't even tickle the scrotum of this thing with HP fighting. So if we can get in on Jolteon, even though we don't have a very good move, once he sees the damage he's going to be putting out with HP fighting, he's going to be running with his tail between his legs. So let's hope that happens. Like I said, max hit points, 4 in defense, the rest in special defense. We just want to take hits like a boss. I don't even think Aura Sphere from Blastoise does that much. But Mega T-Tar hopefully going to make an impact on this match. And we're going to go to C4. And why is this C4? Because this thing is the bomb. Celebi, Life Orb, Natural Cure. This thing pretty much just spits in the face of anything Blastoise can do. Last time we brought Blastoise, it was 2 water moves. I don't remember if he had Ice Beam or not, but Toxic. Toxic was the big thing last time, because see, that's how we beat my Jellicent. This time, we don't have Jellicent on the team. Jellicent sprained one of his tentacles and is out for the last game of the season, so he'll be cheering us from the side. Requiem, will be cheering us from the sideline. So we got C4, the Bomb Dropper, Life Orb, Natural Cure, Giga Drain, Earth Power, Psychic, and Recover. Recover to just get back health. We outspeed or tie almost everything on his team. We don't tie Jolteon. And I'm not thinking about what else, but we speed tie Victini if he's max speed and not scarfed. We speed tie the Dragon Dude, Salamence, before he gets up a Dragon Dance. And he has been using the offensive set of that, and he did use it against me last time, so I do believe he will probably bring that again, because the DD set is just friggin' scary. But we got Giga Drain, Earth Power, Psychic, and Recover. I thought about bringing the HP Ice just for the Ments, but if we're going off a switch-in, Psychic hits everything so much harder when paired in with the rest of the moves on this set. Max speed, so if he is bringing those base 100s and we speed tie, we will at least get the 50-50 roll for the speed tie. Max special attack and special defense, namely to stand up against Blastoise in the event he does decide to bring the Ice Beam this week. Now, we're bringing Blue this week, and I really think, unless he brings Scarf 100 speeder, which is Salamence, if he brings Scarf Salamence with Moxie, GG. Because we don't have much that wants to come in and see that, especially after he takes out Taylor. Arcanine will be able to deal with that fairly well, probably come in, get the Intimidate off, and Will-O-Wisp. So, not as scary. We have Kyurem with the Choice Scarf Pressure. We got Flash Cannon, Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Draco Meteor. If he doesn't bring his Sylveon, which he didn't last time, these Draco Meteors are going to be blowing up his team. His team is much more defensive than it is special defensive. And he has 2 things on his team that are immune and resist. One I don't expect him to bring, and the other one is Aggron, or Megatron. And we got the Earth Power for that, but once that thing goes down, we start dropping Dracos. Like I said, unless he has a Scarf level 100, this is enough speed to outspeed max speed Jolteon. So, max speed Jolteon Earth Power just destroys a lot of things on his team, as well as the Ice Beam. Previous damage on things, like I said, hopefully we get our rocks up and get some things in, get some accrue damage on his Mons, and between Ice Beam and just dropping Dracos, Flash Cannon on there in the event he brings Sylveon, which again I don't think he's going to, but if he does, that's our best option with this set. I know someone's going to say, oh Tup, you should bring Ironhead if you want to plan for that. All things considered, the straight special set works better against the most of his team. Plus we have Excadrill. So last, switching up the name this week, going with Thor. Mainly just because Thor was killed by that big monster thing in the mythology, and he was poisoned. We're carrying a poison move, Sludge Wave. Prankster T-Wave. Hopefully, we won't be forced to lead this, because every time we do, something bad happens. But this matches up really well against a lot of his team, outside of Jolteon. Tit for tat, I think Jolteon is the only thing on his team that outright outspeeds this, and I think we have just enough speed to outspeed base 100s. So, if he leads with a base 100, we know it's going to be Scarfed. It will almost have to be because of the speed we have on our team. Unfortunately, with this team, the only problem I'm having is deciding what I want my lead to be. I thought about straight up leading Mega T-Tar, but I don't want to lose Sand too terribly early in the match. But we'll see what happens. A lot of his Mons straight up destroy T-Tar turn 1. So let's get back to Thor. Thor, leftover Prankster. We got the T-Wave, Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, Grass Knot. Still in the back of my head, Golurk and Quagsire, because they stand up better than some of the other things on his team. Blastoise still probably his best defensive wall to stand in the face of Excadrill, but like I said, still max defense with leftovers. I think guaranteed 2-shot by a Banded Earthquake. So that's good to know. I think Banded Earthquake does at least 50.6% damage, if I remember my calc correctly. And I think that's a mineral. I think it can do up to like 60 something. But anyways, Blastoise is probably going to be standing in our way. I really wanted to bring Toxic this week because it just deals with Blastoise so much better. But again, as I said before, with him possibly doing Torrent boosted Aqua Jets and being like a Relaxed or a Sassy Age, whatever the one is that raises your defense and lowers your speed. I think it's Relaxed. Maybe. Him being able to get off Torrent boosted Aqua Jets, a little scary for this team, especially since not really gonna be affecting Hot Dog and or Taylor. Well, Taylor does have some HP investment that we didn't need for the speed, and that will allow it to take hits a little bit better. Mr. T gotten that HP. Tit for tat, it hits my team relatively well for damage if it needs to just clean up. So that is the team we're going to be bringing against Dan, aka A-Drive, and the St. Louis Rampardos. Alright guys, this is week 12. We're going in. Our record is 4-7. So ending strong with this win, putting us to 5-7 would be really good. If we end up losing and we come out 4-8, that is going to put us like middle of the pack overall for the GBA, and that's going to give us a really crappy drafting position. So this one extra win could push us like above 4 or 5 people if they all win next week. So let's hopefully go and get this victory and give ourselves a better, in my opinion, draft position. Sorry guys, this has been OldManTup. Thank you for coming by and joining the Bucktooth Buckos, and we will catch you on the flip side, guys. Peace.